Grand rising loungers. I hope everybody is doing as great as I am today. Listen, guys, I am always up really early, and today I wanted to go outside and do my walking, right? But the air quality in Delaware is so bad, and we have no idea why. They keep claiming it's from these wildfires and all this stuff. It just doesn't make sense to me with the way that the jet stream goes on how this wind just keeps pushing this smoke down in our area. And it's just really affecting people down here. So I've been trying to do my best and not going outside and doing my exercise in the morning. I did get on my treadmill this morning, but the treadmill is just not the same as my outside walking. So, but either way, I just kind of hate that. And I just hope that this thing clears up as quickly as possible. So we can finally kind of do the things that we've normally been doing. But it's just been really crazy in doing that. But either way, while I was doing my exercise routine, I was finishing out the video that Binary did yesterday. So shout out to Binary. He had a great show yesterday. And Binary is always doing some controversial shit, always saying something opposite of what the majority of people would think, or whatever the case may be. It's just kind of funny, and it's something that you end up getting used to over time. But as I was listening in, I happened to listen to Shakim get on the panel. Okay. Now, I told you guys that I did not listen to Shakim's video. I don't know what he was talking about, right? I'm pretty sure it was the same same, jokes that he tries to give all the time. Let's see. I'm a prostitute. Everything that breaking the cultures, his master said, he's going to go ahead and go with that. So, let's see. Let me guess. I'm a bust down. I'm sucking people's dicks in dungeons. The same old dumbass jokes that he tells all the time, nothing new, except for some one new thing that I heard on Binary Show, right? And it's allegedly I have 30 cases in the state of Delaware all up in the courts, okay? I was like, what? I had to go look my goddamn self. Like, do I have 30 cases in the courts, right? So I say, you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a look up in here and see what the fuck Shakim Ra is talking about, okay? And then we are also going to go over to Michigan courts. Now, we're going to put in my full name, okay? Because y'all know my full name, thanks to me and mine, my full name is Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? That is my married name, Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? That is my name. My maiden name, guys, you guys don't know that, okay? But guess what? It's not Robinson, okay? It's not Smith and any of these other things. It is Tanisha Lynn Price. That is my that's my married name, okay? That is the name I have been going by since I got married at the age of 18. I am now 45 years old, okay? I actually tried, after my husband passed away, I had tried to go, and I was going to change my name at some point back to my maiden name. And they told me how much it would cost, and I couldn't believe that it would cost me money to go back to the name my father and mother gave me on my birth certificate. So I just left it at the name that it is, okay? And I've kept it that way for years, all right? So that is my full name. So anytime anything goes into the court systems under me, it's going to go under Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? So you guys can do the math. You guys know my date of birth. Y'all know all this stuff, okay? So we are going to take a nice sector trip into the Delaware courts today, and we're going to see whether or not Tanisha Lynn Price, that name, Tanisha Lynn Price, has 30 cases against her in the state of Delaware, okay? And then we're going to look over in Shakim Harris's case over in the Michigan courts, and we're going to count up how many cases he has, okay? And then we're going to see from there. So I do appreciate all of y'all for being in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button on the way in. We have a great live morning show this morning, and we're also going to get into some other things as well. So sit back and relax, and let's get into it, guys. So shout out to everybody that came in last night who looked at the video on Sylvester James. We are going to get into some viewers, a comment from a viewer, as well as the St. James Church viewers as well. Okay, so I just want to get into that. And then there was one other viewer that we had the other day in regards to the story about Rev G and Nelson Noble. So I want to get into that comment as well, because sometimes I just want to always kind of go back and just go over the comments that people have said, because it's really important to the show, right? And just kind of keeping up with what has happened with the show. Also, times I will get clarity or more clarity once I get an actual message from somebody. So we'll get into that in just a moment. But first, I want to shout out you guys. Hey, Amma, I appreciate you for being in the building. You said good morning, T-Pre. Muslim, I appreciate you for being in the building as well. You said Black Lounge Divine, and hello to Amma. You said, hey, to Muslim. Hey, Riz, appreciate you for being in the building. You said, greetings, hashtag Godmother at Muslim and Amma. I appreciate you, bro. And you said, hey, to Muslim. You said, hit the like button, y'all. We lit, as always, in the mornings, right? Yes, everybody in the clouds, hit the like button. You said, greetings, Riz. And you said, hi, Riz. Okay, so let's first start with the comments from viewers, and then we are going to get into this 21 cases, because we got 21 cases, okay? But a bitch clearly ain't the fuck one, okay? But let's go ahead and get into our comments from our viewers, all right? Because we had some great comments. And one of them I want to go back to. I want to start with the one with Rev G. So let me go back to that real quick. Okay. So shout out to Karma52. I appreciate her always coming in and supporting the show. She may not always be able to come in when I'm doing the lives, but she will always catch a replay and let me know that she's been here. So she said, I caught the replay. Nelson left a voicemail. Now, I want you guys to know before I get into this, I was not around this sector in 2019, 2018, any of this stuff, when any of this stuff was going on, okay? The only thing I can go by is what you guys say, or what you guys, have witnessed. I've heard both sides and all different sides of this story. So this is what I'm going to say in regards to Karma. Karma never has left a message that has been biased, okay? She has always been very unbiased in everything that she says, always unbiased in her commentary. And she gives me a very even point of view in regards to things. Her, and there's many others that do that as well. So I want to shout her out for that. And then I'm going to give you guys the message that she left. And again, this was the story on the history, sector history. Let's talk about D. Durrell's show when he talked about Nelson Noble, okay? And me and Make a Change were on the panel. So she says, caught the replay. Nelson left a voicemail on Rev's phone, which he played on a live. Nobles was going hard for Umar. Rev's number used to be in the description on his channel. On a live after Rev got fired, he stated people were calling and harassing his job, and he was let go because he wasn't or didn't tell them up front about his Umar Johnson involvement, and he would make sure to do so in the future. I'm not sure if that was before or after those accusations, but I thought it was before. Okay, so here's the thing, and I really like that, because that gave me a lot more clarity on what was going on, right? So basically at that time, Rev G was letting his audience know that, yeah, he's having issues at work, but it's because of his Umar Johnson involvement in this sector, okay? This is why I was under the impression that Anti got him fired, okay? Because what I got, and the word I got, was that they were sending out these letters, sending out these emails and stuff to these universities and to these locations, that Umar was showing up to, and they were leaving a paper trail. And Anti was forging Rev G's name on this paperwork, and this paperwork got back to his job. and they were questioning him on, that, and that is ultimately what got him canned. That was the story I got. Now I'm getting this, and this makes a lot more sense, right? Where it's saying, yeah, Rev G was putting that out there, okay, that it was around the Umar Johnson sector for why he was on the hook with his job. But then this whole thing happened, okay? So you guys kind of know the history of this because y'all were all there, and we can only come to conclusions based off of what y'all say, right? And based off of things that were there. But that's just, I really appreciated her kind of giving that understanding and giving that message. And shout out to Muslim for the $20 super sticker. I truly appreciate that. I truly appreciate that for you. You said Black Lounge Divide, some breakfast money. I appreciate that, bro. And you said Muz, and you said hi to Riz. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and finish up the commenting on here, because I had some more that I wanted to do. On the Vixen Chronicles, we had Carla Martin say, LOL, Marcellus is the king of roast, dumb semen brain bitch. Laughing my ass off. Hashtag leave T Pre alone, okay? And for some reason, niggas don't want to catch that, okay? They don't want to understand, that nobody's trying to keep going back and forth with them, right? On the sector updates to Sensitive Sally, the Smoke God says, right, the money factor with content is BS. You are right. You have to have a lot of support, etc. And he's right, because, this whole thing about Tony L making all kinds of money off of ads, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to add another factor to that too. We don't even know, like, how do you really know if somebody's monetized? Just because you see ads on something or you hear ads while you're listening to Spotify or whatever, it does not mean the channel you're listening to is monetized. It means that YouTube actually runs ads on non-monetized videos as well. They run ads on non-monetized channels as well, okay? So seeing ads is not a telltale sign that somebody's monetized, right? And that's just something that was a factor that I forgot to mention in there. But that is absolutely true. Like, literally, just because you're seeing ads on somebody's channel or you're hearing them does not mean that they're getting a check, okay? So that also debunks kind of the whole thing. The bottom line is money making on YouTube comes from your actual audience, and it actually comes from sponsorships and that thing. The ad revenue is little to none. It's literally pennies on the dollar, and it's not even worth like chasing after, because you're not going to get much on it, right? But you're definitely going to get, the funds from like super stickers, super chats, cash apps, that kind of thing, or you're going to get the funding from, sponsorships. Like if you can get a person or a big company or whatever, even a smaller company to sponsor you, and you just run their ads on your channel, right? That would make a lot of sense. Like Tasha K does that, and there's other content creators that do that as well. But that is how that works. So shout out to the Smoke God for that, because he was right. Let's see. So on the Kojic Church video the other day that I did with on Charles Mason, a lady says, and this is a lady that I don't really know. She said, Bishop Patterson was one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Can't speak for the rest of them, but he was a great one. Yeah. So I appreciated that. I don't really know Bishop Patterson or much about him, but I know who you're talking about. So shout out to you for that. And then I went over this comment yesterday. I think I went over this one from Muslim about the Jewish JW. So I'm going to skip over that one. Oh, yeah. So Karma let me know, too, that she caught the replay on the Kojic Greater St. John's Church, but her notifications weren't going out. There's a few of y'all that have let me know that, right? So what I will recommend for that is to unsub and then resubscribe. Make sure that you click all notifications, right? Or kind of wait it out, because YouTube goes through a cycle of doing that as well, okay? That is something that content creators could know. YouTube does this kind of cycle of sending notifications out. They'll just notify everybody, and then they kind of slow down on that, and they'll put the notification out, but it'll be later, right? It'll be much later or whatever. It's just not anything really that content creators can really do about it. You just kind of just work around it, And if you know I'm going live, I can kind of do something with that by maybe, if I know I'm going to go live, I can put up a notification like a half an hour beforehand or something like that. So I've been trying to do that a little bit. And every now and then they put out the notification. Sometimes they just don't. So it just is what it is. But either way, that is just a suggestion that I have. And you're welcome to do that if you guys want to do that. Okay. Now, I want to get into a comment from Unadulterated Truth last night. Shout out to him because this was on the Sylvester James video. Okay. Now, I have heard some fabulous stories about Sylvester. I really have some wonderful, wonderful stories about Sylvester. But this particular story I thought was hilarious. Okay. And but before I get into that one, I want to tell you guys kind of one story that I've heard about Sylvester. And what it was, as you guys know, he's one of my favorite artists. I talked about him last night in honor of Pride Month, the last day of Pride Month. I wanted to make sure that we got Sylvester's story in, and also we tied in his story of S abuse as a child and how he was a member of the Kojic Church, okay? So we kind of tied all that together, and we're going to get into his story later on down into our Kojic Church series. But one of the most fabulous stories I heard about Sylvester during his lifetime was he had come to a very boutique, very prestigious restaurant in Los Angeles, okay, where like really high class, high roller, Hollywood folks go to, or people that live in the LA area go to, okay. And he came in there and they said, it was all the posh people were there. They were eating their, chicken cordon bleu or whatever they were eating. And they said the elevator doors open, and he was standing there in a long feathered dress. Okay, just gorgeous. And Sylvester was gorgeous, right? Just absolutely stunning. And it was two big, tall black men standing next to him, just big and thick, and they said everybody just gasped when he stopped. Like when he came in the room, everybody just stopped what they were doing and got quiet, and everybody just gasped all at the same time at his glory. I could just imagine that moment, right? Just seeing him there. Like I could imagine just being there and actually seeing that. So I just wanted to share that story. I probably go over when we do the Sylvester story. I probably will go over a lot of those things and a lot of those times. But I just gave you guys a brief synopsis of him last night. But shout out to Unadulterated, because he says, when I worked in the stock market, one of my buddies who was a broker hold on, guys, let me get my reading glasses because, I'm getting a little old, honey. Okay, he says, when I worked in the stock market, one of my buddies who was a broker was married to the woman who managed the Bourse building on 5th between Market and Chestnut. This is in Philly, guys. One Halloween, mid-'80s, some people who worked in the building decided to throw a drag party without consulting anybody. Sylvester was a celebrity guest. They would have gotten away with it, but somebody decided to hang the disco lights from the sprinkler system spouts. At about 2 a.m., I guess the smoke and or weight of the strobe lights triggered the alarm and water. This sent who knows how many high-heeled partygoers running into the streets of Society Hill. My buddy was ticked off because the police woke them out of their sleep, and they got downtown to find the craziness left behind. Those were some wild days, and I'm sure you've heard about the Philly club scene, the library, the Fox Trap, Elan, Salsas All Night, the 8th Floor, the Black Banana, etc. I had to put an absolute love on that, and that is an awesome story just to know that and just to hear that. I thought that was so hilarious. But shout out to Unadulterated Truth for that one. So, okay, guys, so I think that's all I wanted to get into in regards to the comments from viewers today. But I definitely wanted to share that story because I thought that was just amazing. Yes, pause. But what I want to do now is get into this 21 cases, okay? Because allegedly, y'all, I'm supposed to be facing 21 goddamn cases in the state of Delaware, okay? Now, I will tell y'all, there are 2 cases in the courts over Tanisha Price, Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? My name is not an uncommon name. You guys can go look up my name, and there are hundreds of Tanisha Prices all across the U.S., literally, okay? I was shocked my damn self a few years ago, several years ago, when I found out how many Tanishas there were. And I'm going to tell you guys a story. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys a brief, fun story. And this is a fun fact about me. Okay. So, yes, my name is Tanisha Lynn Price. I was born in Vineland, New Jersey. Okay. In 1978, in April of 1978. And my mom thought that I was a boy. She did not have any ultrasound or anything like that to know what the sex was of me. So she thought I was a boy, and they had me prepared with the name Alexander. Okay. So long and behold, when I came out the cootie, okay, there was a cootie there. So they had to figure out what my name was going to be. Okay. So at the time when my mom was still had me unnamed, there was a person that was on the TV that was a Japanese singer, and her name happened to be Tanisha. Okay. And she spelled it the same name as me. So my mom decided to name me Tanisha. Okay. And she gave me the name Tanisha Lynn. Where she got Lynn from, God knows. Okay. I never asked her that. I should ask her that, but she never told me that. Right. But that's how I got the name Tanisha. So long and behold, the lady that was in the room with my mom and who gave birth to her daughter as well asked my mom what my name was. And my mom told her my name. And she said, "Oh, that is such a beautiful name. I am going to name my daughter the same name." Okay. And she did. So guess what, guys? There is another Tanisha spelled the same exact way, born on the same day as me, in the same hospital. And we have almost the same social security number as well. And I'm going to tell you how I know that. Okay. So one day, back in the day, okay, and I'm going to show you guys the address that this happened at. Okay. Because it's funny that Shakim brought this up. But one day, back in the day, probably about 10 years ago, okay, maybe not even 10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, I was chilling in my living room, just relaxing and just whatever I was doing. And I got a knock on my door, and it was the county police. Okay. Because when you come to my house, you have to go through Newcastle County Police. Just to let y'all know, all of you who are looking for a detective on TPRE, you need to go through Newcastle County Police. I will give you the phone number. Okay. So either way, the Newcastle County Police knock on my door, right? And they're like, "Hi, Miss Price." And I'm like, "Yeah." No, he was like, "Hi, Tanisha." And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yeah, I've gotten a report that, he said, this isn't an emergency, but we do have a report that you have illegal cable in your name, illegal cable in someone's name." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? Like, it was odd that he would even ask me something weird like that. So what I did was I went and got my cable bill from Xfinity, okay? And I went and got my driver's license. And I showed him the name on my Xfinity bill and the name on my driver's license. And he could see that the name on my driver's license was me, right? So he took the driver's license and the thing. He was looking at it, and he was looking at whatever paperwork he had. And he was like, "Okay." He was like, "Ma'am, I apologize." He was like, "But there is a woman with the same date of birth as you, with the same exact name. She just has a different last name." He said, "But she filed a report thinking that you had cable in her name." And I was like, "No, sir." And that's when I told him that story about my mom naming me this name, and how another woman in the area named that name as well. I'm going to tell you another story about that woman. Okay. Now, I don't know her. I've never met her or anything, but I know she lives in the Chester area, right? Because another day, which was about 3 years ago, okay, I got a call from the Chester County or the Chester Police, the Upland Chester Police Department, right? It was early in the morning. They woke me up out of my sleep. And when I got the call, he was like, "Tanisha." I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Hey, this is Detective such and such from such and such." And he was like, "Your son," and he mentioned my son's name, right? My 22-year-old. He mentioned his name. And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, he was involved in such and such, and you remember what I'm talking about, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "You live in such and such in Chester." I was like, "No, I'm from Delaware." And he was like, Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Come to find out, this woman also has a son that is similarly named after my son. Y'all, this is crazy. Like, I can't make this shit up to save my life, okay? This woman has a name. Not only does she have my first name, and we were born in the same hospital on the same fucking day, but she also has a son that is, he's like a year younger than my son. And they have the same first name, y'all, but they don't have the same middle name or same last name. That was the only reason this cop believed me, is because the last name wasn't the same. Okay. And my last name wasn't the same. Okay. So that was why he like believed me. But I'm telling y'all, this cop thought that we were like, people have mistaken me and this woman for years. Okay. And it's because we were born in the same hospital on the same goddamn day. Okay. Like, yes. And we have the same name. We just have a different middle name. And I don't know if she has a different middle name or not, but I know she has a different last name than me. Okay. So, with that being said, I don't know who these people are, right? And I know what her last name is. I don't want to say what her last name is, but I do know what her last name is, but it's not Price, okay? And it also isn't my maiden name either, okay? So, but that is just a fun fact in regards to that. And I wanted to tell you guys that because, like I said, my name is not an uncommon name, okay? And to the point that it's so not uncommon that literally this is exactly what's going on. Okay, yes. You said hold that hold that WL. We got doppelgangers out there as well. Okay. You said I went to the University of Oklahoma with a Stephanie Denise Collins, also born in March 1981. Exactly. Like, it's not far-fetched, right? And like I said, my name is not an uncommon name at all. What's up, Buckle Buck? I ain't seen you in a long time. Child, we got 21 cases, y'all. Okay. So either way, let's go ahead and get into the Delaware courts. Let me go ahead and present my screen. I'm going to play a quick timer for y'all while I grab the screen, and then we'll get right into it. All right, so let's go ahead and start this civil case search. Okay, so we're looking in the Delaware courts. We're also going to look while we're here to make sure that Miss Vixen has not put a case against the T-Pre yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and share this screen here. So right now we are looking under the state of Delaware, Delaware courts judicial branches. Okay, we're going to search by name. Okay. Because like Shakim said, we got 21 cases. We got 30 cases against us. Okay. Now, let's start with Andrea Garrison, because again, she says that, she has a case against the Pre and here in the state of Delaware. And still so far, guys, there has been no cases filed. Okay. And we'll go ahead and look on a new search. We're going to do Danny Stark, okay, because, like she said, he's also coming after me, right? So we're going to go ahead and take a look. Still no records from them. Now let's look up Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? Price, Tanisha Lynn, all right? Y'all ready? Let's click submit. Uh-oh. 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 T-Pre going to do 5 to 10, y'all. What's going on? What is going on, y'all? This is me, guys, okay? There is one case in here for me, and there's another case for HCH Finance, okay? HCH Finance is a car company. We've already talked about the HCH Finance, okay? This was a judgment that was entered on August 25th, 2022, okay? This was from last year. As I explained to you guys, this was a car that I had from like 2015 or 2016. At the time I had gotten sick, I have lupus. Okay. So at the time I gotten sick and I was on workman's comp, and the money that I was getting was not enough to keep up with that and the other bills in the house. So I let the vehicle go. They ended up telling me that, or they tried to get me for like $4,000 or $5,000 more than what I actually owed. And I went back and forth with them for a while until I finally just disputed it on my credit report. They were not able to prove to the creditor or to the credit bureau that I actually owed that amount because I didn't. So it had to come off my report. Okay. It took them until 2022 to take me back to court over it. Okay. And then they finally did. And when they did, I agreed because what they gave was the right amount. Okay. It was like $5,000 or something. Either way, I made a payment arrangement with them, and I'm currently paying that as agreed. And I would have to show you my credit report in order to prove that, which I'm not willing to do. Okay. Now but either way, yes, this right here is exactly what that is. And look at the address. Ain't that the address that I told Break-In? That is the address of my aunt. Like I said, I gave them that at the courts, that address, because I don't want them to have my actual address. But they can have that one. Okay, that's not a problem. So I gave them that address. Okay. Let's look at this next case right here. And I want you guys to see the dates on these cases. Okay. This is all. And I also want you to see the name on these cases. Okay. So this happens to be in the same address, 47 Raven Turn, Newark, Delaware. This neighborhood is called Brookmont Farms. Okay. It is a neighborhood. It's a Black neighborhood out here in Newark, and it's off of Route 40. And it's a predominantly and as well as historically Black neighborhood. Okay. That neighborhood is well known for, in the back in the day, it was ridden with crime. Okay. Like ridiculous crime. Okay. Like really bad. It's one way in that neighborhood and one way out of that neighborhood. Okay. You guys can look up Raven Turn and see Brookmont Farms and look up any information on that neighborhood. That neighborhood tends to have, or it used to have, slumlords in it. Okay. And there were at the time, it was two landlords. So there was one neighborhood, there was one landlord that did kind of take care. Well, there was three landlords. So two of the landlords did not take care of the properties. Okay. The properties that they owned. The other landlord kind of took care of the entire Brookmont neighborhood, unless they were owned by these other two property owners. Okay. So one of them was Good Fish Enterprises. Good Fish Enterprises had so much water damage in that house on 47 Raven Turn that I was actually trying to take them to court over it. Okay. It turns out that he was trying to get a judgment against me because I had held his rent in escrow. Okay. So let's go ahead and look into that, because again, he was trying to get this judgment. And this date is May 14th, 2014. Okay. This one right here is August 2014. And this one is the March 2014. Okay. So let me go ahead and show you guys this one, because it was actually closed. Okay. And he never got anything out of the case. So I'm going to show you guys what happened. His name is Chris Lucas. And it says trial scheduled, all appropriate parties notified, landlord tenant pretrial court. Okay. Service issued certified mailing. Case with action withdrawn. Okay. And it was withdrawn because the service return posted for me because I had moved out of the property. Now I'm going to show you guys where I moved out of the property. Okay. Let's go back, because we're going to leave all stones we're going to leave all these stones. We're not going to leave any stone unturned in this. No cases were found. We're going to keep going down. Now, I want you to read that. Per landlord, defendant has already vacated and landlord has already taken possession. I left the house and there was no money that was issued to him. The only thing that he got was an issued writ of possession. That was it. And that was because I left already. Okay. I was not going to live in a property that was done this way. And y'all can look up the history of Brookmont Farms, so they'll let you know exactly what was going on with them. Let's look at this one, because again, we're not leaving any stones unturned in this case. Okay. The only thing he got was a judgment. There was no money owed. There was no nothing, because literally I didn't, once I moved out and I was able to keep my money, it didn't matter. So I moved on with my life. Okay. I didn't even have to go and take him to court and go through all of that, because I was already mitigated. My damages were mitigated. I got another property and I didn't have to worry about him anymore. And, I was able to keep my money. He didn't get any money out of me. This case was closed because I moved out, and that was it. Okay. And this one right here, like I said, this is HCAC Finance, which is the one that Shakim keeps trying to bring up. Okay. Which is a vehicle. Okay. And again, we're going to go through this. Claim amount is claims over $5,000. It is a little bit over $5,000. But at the time, it was like $9,000 some dollars that they had on my credit report. And I'm like, no, this is not true. All right. So that's what exactly happened. And yes, it was an amount of $5,000. And this is for a vehicle. Okay. You guys can look it up. HCHC Finance, as he did. It came through Cox Auto. Yes, it was a car. Okay. So T-Pre has what? How many cases? How many cases does T-Pre have? 4. And it was only 2. Okay. It was one for the same people, and the other one was HCAC Finance. But what I don't have, Shakim, right? Let's look this up, okay? And we're going to go by her full name as well. What I don't have, Shakim, what you guys are claiming I have, right? You guys are claiming that there are cases against me, right? From Andrea Garrison. We don't have that. We don't have that. That's the one that we're looking for. While you're trying to windmill for her, looking at cases against me, where is her cases? Okay. But better yet, let's talk about your cases. How about that? Okay. Because that's what we really want to look into, since you're more concerned about, looking up people's cases and trying to look into them. And since we've already counted how many cases are actually against me in the state of Delaware, right? Which is 1 case with Good Fish Enterprises and 1 case with HCAC Finance. Let's look up all your cases. So let's count how many cases you got while you out here telling everybody that I got 30 cases on me in the state of Delaware, okay? Let me make sure that you guys are still with me. Let me make sure you guys can see what I got on the screen. Okay, we got chat. And shout out to everybody that is in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and go over the chats real quick, and then we'll go ahead and get into the rest of this. So I appreciate everybody being in the building. You says, Riz, anti-Grinjo enchiladas. You said, uh-oh, in my SETI voice. You said, Steph Collins, anti-Butterbuilt men Barbie. You said, Riz, voice of SETI. Miss T-Pre, what's up, Conscious? I appreciate you being in the building. You said, Grand Rising, peace and love. You said, Stephanie, anti-Young Pharaoh bit Molly. Y'all get on my nerves, y'all. You said, Muslim peace and salute and blessings. You said, Riz, salute, Grand Rising. You said, Stephanie, one last time, anti-Young Pharaoh bit Molly. Y'all get on my nerves, man. You said, Steph, peace and love. You said, Grand Rising, sir. Hey, Josephine, I appreciate you being in the building. You said, Joe, 400 in the chat. Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on that too before we get into Shakim's cases, right? Um, so I will say this. Now, you can buy views like and stuff like that. But what I think really honestly happened, I don't think they were buying views during that live stream. I think that it was just like a glitch. Sometimes you do get glitches in the system where or you'll have like it'll just be this algorithm thing where it'll drop a whole bunch of bots in the system, and then it'll quickly correct itself. So I think that's kind of what happened in that situation. Or it could be, because I wasn't there to watch it, right? It very well could be that they were buying views. Okay. It really could be, because all you have to do is put the URL and put that in there and then purchase those views, and then they'll come through. And if he had 1,300 views on there, which I saw Muslim had left a message on there saying, congrats on the 1,350 views. If he had 1,350 views and we saw 400 views come in during the show, and then he had 1,350 views after the show, and then now he's at 188, yeah, he bought them views, y'all. He definitely bought those views. I'm sorry, because YouTube will most definitely pick that up and they'll correct it. I told y'all it's a waste of money and a waste of time buying views and buying likes, because they will correct that shit. It's harder to correct the like buying, I guess, but the view buying, most definitely they'll be able to tell whether that's authentic or not. Because what's happening is people are just coming and they're clicking on the show and just looking real quick and then they're out. They're not staying, right? So they get paid to go click on a show, stay for like 5 seconds, and then be out. And that's what they do. So, you are, giving yourself all these accolades and patting yourself on the back. And it's like, bro, just do that shit authentically. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in this sector knows nobody is getting that many views during a live stream over here. Not even the largest content creators over here are getting that many views in a live stream, right? Even larger content creators don't get that many views during a live stream, depending on what they're talking about. Some do, but most don't, right? That's kind of rare, or if it does happen, but it happens with much bigger content creators than any of us. So, yeah, I don't know how he thought that was even possible, but child, listen. You said conscious energy. We got the spectacular vernacular this morning. We doing it all legal so we can fly with the eagles, right? What's up, Redbone? Appreciate you being in the building. You said the full receipt, okay? You said, hey, Redbone. You said less than me, child. You said, hey, Stephanie. You said, hey, Josephine. You said, good morning, Joe. You said, Riz. You said, LOL. I got a chat case, okay? Right. You said I got more cases than that in Delaware, and I've only stopped in Delaware once, right? Like, child, it's funny because I don't even got no like back in the day I had a couple traffic violations and stuff like that, but that's it. Like, it ain't like y'all. It ain't like I ain't out here getting in trouble, though. I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about, y'all. Hey, what's up, Bessie? Appreciate you being in the building. You said, what's up to Redbone? And you said, Riz. You said, hey to Ray. You're giving out hearts. You said, but they get more than lame G, okay? Right. You said, Triggs, yeah. All right, so let's go ahead. And since, Shakim is claiming that I have 30 fucking cases, we've already debunked that, right? We've looked again. Let's go ahead and look again. We're going to go ahead and access the courts, and we're going to look and see if the pre has all these cases against her, okay? We're going to look and see, oh my God, does the pre have all these cases against her, right? Let's take a look. Tanisha Lynn, okay, because we know that's my name. Let's click on submit. Oh my God. We got 4 records, y'all. 4 motherfucking records that are me, okay? That is absolutely me. Like I said, this address right here, right? Yeah. That other bullshit, that is not me. I don't know what the fuck this nigga talking about. I can go back and take a look, right? We can look and see. Let's just put in Tanisha Price. Let's see what comes up. Okay. Let's see what comes up when you just put in that name. Okay, because you got to have my full name. All right. 8th Street. Never lived there a day in my motherfucking life. Okay. Now Raven Turn is me. All right. 7 Everett Court. That is my aunt's address. Never lived on 10th Street a day in my life. I don't even know who Jewel Hoy is. I don't know who that is. North Monroe Street. Never lived there a day in my life. Kirkwood Street. Never lived there a day in my life. And this is funny because this says Kirkwood Street, Wilmington, but it says Newark Housing Authority. Newark is not even, Wilmington has its own housing authority. There is no housing authority in Newark Housing Authority. Wouldn't have anything to do with Wilmington Housing Authority. This is the Vinings. I'll never live there a day in my life. 8th Street, apartment 2. Again, never lived there a day in my life. I don't know who these people are. Rodman Road, never lived there a day in my life. 9th Street, never lived there a day in my life. I don't know Jeremy Holt. HK5 Investments. Well, whoever that is been in court a lot, but it the fuck ain't me. Okay, like, it's not me. But these are most definitely me. This one right here, this Raven Turn, okay, because I did absolutely live there at one time. And this 7 Edward Court, that is mine as well. Okay. But these other ones, I don't know who these people are. This don't even got my name. It says Tanisha A. Price. Tanisha A. Price. So who is that? That's not me. Okay. While you trying to look up these cases on people and dox people, you're looking for somebody that's not even me. I don't even know who Tanisha A. Price is. My name is Tanisha L. Price. Tanisha Lynn Price. That is my name, okay? Yes, I lived at 47 Raven Turn before, and that landlord was so fucked up, okay, that I fucking left. And I've been living where I live at ever since then, okay? And then this one right here, which is when I went back to court with them, this is the address I gave them, okay? Which is my aunt's address, which is the same address I gave you, Breaking, okay? Yeah. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and look at the Michigan courts, okay? Now we are here in the Michigan court case search. We have already searched and seen that T-Pre only has 4 cases, which turns out to be 2 cases in the state of Delaware, okay? Now let's look under Shakim Ra under Wayne County. All right, so we're going to go to the 17th District Court first. All right, and we're going to look up Harris, Shakim Harris. Let's click search, and we're going to wait on it because he actually has a middle name as well, okay? So we're going to go by that, because those are the only ones that we can actually verify, right? Now, this one right here, well, we know that this one is him because we know that this one is in Redford at the 17th District Court, and he actually admits to this one, okay? So let's go ahead and look in here. And we've got this one case so far, which was the one case that we were looking over, right? And like I said, I never really wanted to actually go into any of this, but since Shakim wants to, then we'll go ahead and go into this, okay? So it was the case details here. This is basically that the case has been closed and that it was last year and that this is Shakim. So that's one case, right? Let's go ahead and go back to do another search in another court. Let's go ahead and look up Wayne County again. Let's look up the 18th District, okay, which is in Westland. And we're going to type in Harris again and Shakim, okay, because we got one case so far, right? Only one so far. So again, we could be wrong. We might, be just over exaggerating things, right? So let's take a look, okay? So we've got Shakim Harris, which is in fact his name, okay? Year of birth, 1995, okay? Then we've got Shakim Harris, again, year of birth, 1995, okay? Let's do it again. Shakim Harris, okay? Date of birth, 1995. So far we've got 4 cases on him. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so we've got 11 cases on Shakim so far between 2 different lit districts. Okay, now let's take a look and see if we have any other cases against Shakim. Okay, because like I said, we're just looking and trying to see if there's anything that we should be looking into, because Shakim is telling us that how dare we speak on this, because he has such a squeaky clean background, okay, and he can't understand why anybody would be looking up him. Okay, well, we're just taking a look around and just seeing, because so far we have counted way more cases on him than on me. Okay, but while he's talking about, I have 30 cases and I'm this big criminal, right? Like literally, we just counted 9 cases against you, plus the one that was in the other place. And long and behold, we over here in another district, the 19th district, and look who the fuck we got. So we counted 9 cases already, right? That was the other cases. Now let's go ahead and count. I actually lost count. I think we counted. Let's go with 9. We're just going to go with 9, okay? 10, 11. So we've got 11. No, we was at 11 before. So we had 11 and 12. So we've got more cases against Shakim Harris, right? Date of birth, 1995, right? So these are all you, sir, okay? While you're talking about me and while you're looking for cases on me, like I said, and I showed you the cases that are on me, let's look at your cases, okay? So far, we have counted multiple cases against you, and I believe we can keep going. I'm going to go ahead and look in Wayne County again, because I believe that I saw some more, but I know that at least the 17th, 18th, and 19th districts, we've counted so far. We had 2 in 19th. We had 9, I believe, over here. Let's look in this one again. Let's look in here again, okay? Because it shows your middle name as well, right? Because we can only go by, the middle name. So, okay, we already admitted to the landlord one. So we know that we can count that case as well, right? But we're going to just go ahead and count these cases up again so we can do a full tally, okay? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? And then the other 2 was 12, okay? And then we have 13 with the landlord's case. So, sir, you are the one with all the cases in the courts, okay? I have 2 cases. You have 13 cases, okay? 2 cases, 13 cases, okay? 2 cases, 13 cases, okay? While you're talking about me and all this stuff about me, while you're windmilling for a bitch who set you up, okay? While you're jumping in the middle of a female's argument, while you're trying to get into the middle of a female's fight, sir, okay? So I'm going to need you to stop jumping in, like I said, pussy popping your gum, hopping out the window, trying to get in the middle of the fight because you don't know what you're talking about, okay? You should at least know what you're talking about before you bring stuff out for the sector and try to get laughs with the sector, trying to get a one-up on me, because you still can't get over the fact that everybody called you out about your obsessive behavior over Flacco. Okay, because that's what this is about. This is the third time now you have mentioned this, okay? Because that's what you mentioned on Binary Show. And I'm going to go ahead and play Binary Show and play a portion of it in fair use, okay? Just based off of what you said so that everybody understands why I was just showing that, okay? Shout out to y'all.
Man, I'm gonna get depressed. Isn't that what Mars said? This Negro will be all depressed. But yeah. So, oh my gosh. So Shakim, it don't look like he hitting the link. He is not hitting the link. Okay, well, cool. Cause that junk man, oh my God.
He gonna save all his receipts. He gonna do all his show.
Yeah, save your receipts. Yeah, I just can't believe it, man. And then I heard T. Pre said for every show that Shakim does on her, she's gonna do one on Breaking. So
right.
Oh, dang! Oh, he is it. Oh, snap! All right. What up, big dog?
Hotel.
I'm
not here under the name Shakim Ram. Just here to do business for Ram.
All right.
In the midst of effery flying around. Go ahead.
Do your business.
I'm not trying to get fired from HR at Ram University. So I just want to answer a couple questions real quick. But yeah, Antonio. Yeah, that nigga got locked up for making fake dollars. So I done seen a lot of scams and a lot of shit. But
including Amon Ra University.
Fake dollar bills, y'all. Yikes.
For real.
Amon Ra University is one of the biggest scams out here. Okay, you plagiarize everybody's shit and try to act like it's yours. Okay, so that is one of the major scams out here while you're talking about people scamming.
For real. Yeah, so Identity wants to know, did you and T. Pre actually make amends and now you fell out again? Like, what's happening there?
Man, I'm confused too because I thought we was cool. So I tried to get on her panel yesterday and T. Diddy was not having it.
Do y'all hear this shit? Y'all remember what happened in the chat and then how he bogarted my panel? Y'all remember that, right?
Wanted me blocked. She wanted me escorted out of the chat room. And she tried to say that I should have.
This is how sensitive this pussy is.
Stop doing videos on Flacco, but it's okay for her to do videos on Breaking every day.
Did I say that? That conversation, I never said that. Shakim came in my chat room, okay? And he said, oh, I'm so tired of all of these videos. Make this the last one. And I told him, get the fuck up out of here then. If you're so tired and you don't want to hear what we're talking about, why the fuck you here? Why are you wasting my time, wasting your time being here? Go to fuck the bed, get the fuck in the bed since you so fucking tired, right? So then and this was after, he had said a couple of things. And then finally I asked one of the mods to block his ass because he was trying to be smart and try to throw off the show. So one of the mods blocked him. I'm not going to say who, but shout out to who it was. One of the mods did block his ass. And I had dropped the link for Conscious Energy so he could give me his link for, if he wanted to give me the link for his merch show or his merch store. But Ray ended up dropping that link for me. So Conscious Energy never had to hit the link. But Shakim decided to hit the link anyway. And he hit the link trying to get in on, still have this conversation. And I'm like, okay, so I let him up. And, as long as we were going to have a civil conversation and as long as we were going to stay on topic and as long as we were going to talk about what really happened, right? No, he wanted to have a one-up and try to say, oh, well, yeah, this is, you were trying to say that I was being obsessive over Flacco, but you don't have no problem with it when you're talking about Breaking. But I'm not doing what you were doing. Number one, I'm not talking about Breaking every single day. I have other content that I'm doing as well, right? Number two, Breaking and what Breaking did to me and what Breaking did to Shakim is not the same as his argument with Flacco, okay? Him and Flacco falling out and arguing with each other. It was Shakim that was doxing Flacco. It was Shakim that was pulling Flacco's information and putting his shit out for everybody to see. He was the one that was doing 6-7 hour live streams on Flacco almost every other day. And then on top of that, he was out getting drunk during these live streams, getting all fucked up and acting a fool during these live streams. Okay. It was embarrassing. And that is why we were saying something to him. It wasn't just me. It was multiple people saying something to him. This is why he fell out with everybody. He fell out with Darrell. He fell out with TC. He fell out with me. He fell out with a lot of people just simply because they wouldn't denounce Flacco and because they wanted him to stop being obsessive over this man. This went on for over a year. It's not like, where I said I was going to do 60 days. I didn't even do 27 days. Okay. I didn't even do 20 days. Like I literally just got tired of it. Okay. And moved on. And so, but you, Shakim, you continuously went after this man. You were stalking this man. Not only stalking him, you were stalking No Jumper. You were stalking everything going on over there. You were like every other day, if you thought Flacco was getting fired, you were jumping up with live streams. Flacco got fired. Oh my God, yay. Oh yeah. And come to find out he didn't get fired. Like you were obsessed over this man's thighs and everything else just because he didn't want anything to do with you. Literally, that is why you obsessed over this man. He said specifically, Shakim is dead to me. And ever since he said that, you've been crying to the sector about him saying that. That is not the same as what happened with Breaking the Culture. Breaking the Culture literally would not leave me alone. She'd been running around back and forth to sector, going up on Conscious panel, going to this panel, going to that panel, talking shit about me to anybody that would listen. Anybody that would listen, the same way she tried to do to Daryl Moore, the same way she tried to do to Let Me See Your Transcript, the same way she tried to do to Marcellus until he stopped her ass dead in her fucking tracks, right? The same shit she tried to do, she tries to discredit people that she thinks is going to spill her tea, okay? And she tries to do it ahead of them, thinking that, if she does that, then that's going to stop you from believing anything that you say about her, okay? But it never works out that way for her because the truth is just the goddamn truth. That is the difference between why I came for this bitch and what you were doing with Flacco. That is not the same. So you can't compare the two. And that is what I was trying to tell Shakim. But he don't get it. He don't get it because he can't see past his fuck shit. Like, that's just it. He can't take responsibility for his own fuck shit. Somehow, some way, he has to one-up somebody and make them see that he was right in that situation. And you weren't, because it's not the same. So you can stop trying to compare what happened with me and Breaking the Culture to what happened with you. And keep in mind, she has spent the past 6 months trying to disparage my name, where I took 2 months and just put that bitch in the fucking dirt by showing y'all the proof, showing y'all evidence of things, okay? Big difference, huge difference. Not one time did I actually take and put this girl's, like I can, right? I could, but not one time did I take and put this girl's address up on the screen. Not one time did I take and show y'all any personal identifiable information about this girl. Never did that. You, sir, were definitely doing that to Frederick Jalla. That's how we know his name. That's how we know everything about him. Because of you, sir. You weren't pulling up just any old thing. You were pulling up his address. You were pulling up everything about this man. And you were putting it out on YouTube for everybody to see. Big difference. Where I proved that this woman was claiming I was the prostitute, and it turns out she's the prostitute. And I have proof that she's the prostitute, okay? Those are big differences in how, the fight between you and him and me and her. So I'm going to need you, Shakim, to stop getting in these women's beefs and in these women's fights, because you're not a woman. You don't understand the emotions of women and how women catfight over situations. You don't understand it because you're not us. As bad as you want to be us, you're not. Okay? So stay out of it. What part of this do you not understand? I'm trying to move the fuck on with my life. I actually got other things I want to talk about. I've been talking about them. And here you are still out here trying to get in some shit that has nothing to do with you and me, period. It just doesn't. And it has nothing to do with you and Flacco, period. Get over it, Shakim. The bottom line is you were wrong with what you were doing with Flacco, and now you're wrong for jumping in this shit and trying to make it appear like it's the same situation. And it absolutely is not. Okay? So have fun doxing Tanisha A. Price, whoever she is, out here, out here in these YouTube streets, trying to tell everybody that that's me. But I just proved to you guys that is not me. My name is Tanisha Lynn Price, okay? Not Tanisha A. Price, bottom line, okay? And I also showed you guys his and how many cases he got against him in the courts, as opposed to, what he's trying to tell everybody out here about me, okay? And that's just that. Now, I do appreciate everybody for coming in the building. Make sure that y'all hit the like button on the way in. I'm on the way out. You said she knew the goddamn music. They didn't find him through his music. Okay, I think I read that all. You said Dag. Okay, listen, y'all. I'm out of here. I do appreciate everybody for being in the building. And make sure y'all do hit the like button on the way out. And guys, yep, I will talk to y'all later for the epic show of all these receipts he claims he got on me. Now y'all have seen it for yourself. Okay. Your bubble has been busted, sir. Talk to y'all later, and peace, guys. Thank you for watching.